I started in the design field with no experience, no real portfolio or case studies. I just went for it, learned what I could about UX UI coming out of boot camp, and it was challenging, but I'm so glad I stuck with it because from the time that I graduated from the boot camp that I went through till now, I've learned so much, and I'm so thankful that I took the leap into the design field, and it's been an exciting road. I did just start from scratch, but I learned a whole lot from doing that. So here's my take. So to give you a little backstory, when my wife and I got married, we had a total of $166,000 of non-mortgage debt. And I started doing side hustles. I had my current career going, so I'm a school psychologist, and I just wanted to make sure that we were out of debt as fast as possible, so that we can continue, on our journey and enjoy being married and enjoy building a life together. But the side hustles were difficult. I mean, there's no way I could continue working at Papa John's or driving for Uber or Lyft. The hours were just unrealistic. And so I started to figure out, well, what can I do to level up my skill set and do something that would be a little more remote or way more flexible with my schedule. And so I found design in a very random way. My current career is being a school psychologist, which I've been doing that for the last 13 years. So because of having a full-time job already, it was difficult to do the side hustles. So I ended up finding Bethel Tech's UX UI design program, and I really enjoyed it. So being a school psychologist, I thought, well, maybe I could go into private practice and open up my own business and figure out how to serve clients after work or on the weekends. But there was one thing stopping me from doing that, which was I'm not the best at passing tests. So I studied the best I could, ended up failing the exam, and the great thing that came out of that was I was actually building the website for my dream private practice, and I ended up building this WordPress site really quick, and I ended up enjoying it. I failed the exam, but I enjoyed building the WordPress website. Only one thing, the design was horrible. So I ended up finding Bethel Tech's UX UI program, and I really loved what it all entailed. So it was it incorporated learning design, learning a little bit of development, a little bit of coding, but then there was also the spiritual component, since Bethel is tied with a church up north in Redding, California. And so for me, it was a great opportunity for me to level up my skill set, learn something new, and then possibly pivot into a different field. So that's what I did, jumped into the boot camp. It was 9 months, came out ready to roll, and I realized, wow, this is way more difficult than it seems. And so doing freelancing is where I started, again, without any type of strong portfolio or case studies. Again, I was learning, and I wanted to get hired, but no one was hiring part-time or work or anything that I could get my hands on. So I just had to move forward and go into business by myself and learn and grow and figure things out. Now, my personality style, I'm definitely a perfectionist at times, and maybe not at times, maybe all the time, but I struggle with failure. And so for me, seeing this road into the freelance space was a huge challenge, and it was intimidating, but I thought about my why, which is, making sure that we were not just out of debt, but also building something for our family. And I knew that I wanted to continue to move forward, and it was like a no-brainer for me. Just keep going. You learn something, tackle it, figure it out. And that's what I did. Now, my first client was a complete stranger. He found me, I believe, on Upwork, and he actually reached out to me multiple times. And because I wasn't mindful of all I had built, so I had Upwork, I had Fiverr, I had Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at the time. Twitter, just all of these different platforms that I lost track of because I wasn't using them, and I was just posting everywhere, And so I didn't see and I really didn't understand the platforms when it came to like random people trying to reach out to you as well. So I missed his initial message from Upwork, and then I missed his initial message from Instagram. And so, I definitely learned right away, like I need to focus on at least one platform, or really just lean in on one handle. And so for me, that was a huge mistake, but I ended up connecting with him, and thankfully that we were able to work together because he was helpful and not just giving me like hope, like, okay, great, I've landed my first client, but also he helped fund my first computer, which was great. So, or my upgraded computer, which was great because mine was falling apart and overheating and all that fun stuff that designers end up, facing. But so I did some work with him because when I initially set up my account for Upwork, I ended up putting that I was a school psychologist and designer. So he liked the research aspect of it, the user experience abilities of that. And so he hired me to do some research and some user experience design with him and his company. And he was running I think $1 million company at that point. He was just trying to scale it up, but it was great to be able to learn how to onboard a client, how to work with a client, and then work with a group of contract workers as well, because he had a little team there. And so it was great to be able to use my school psychology experience and then bring it into the design field, and that was very helpful. Now, I landed that gig through Upwork, so it was definitely a fixed price, or the price that I had set, and which I completely forgot that I set it at a certain price. So after months of trying to find work, he actually responded, and I ended up forgetting how much I actually was charging. And so we started talking about budget. He's like, well, whatever you charge on your Upwork account. So I was like, oh, well, all right, that's what I'm charging. And so I definitely learned that to update my information, but it was very helpful. Again, I did some work for him, and he helped me level up my tools, which was great. So it all went back to the business, and that was very helpful. When we were initially talking together, trying to figure out, are we going to work together or not? I didn't pressure him. I am not. I wouldn't say I'm a salesy type of guy. Like, I have a strong product, and if you need help, I'm going to help you. And these are my prices. Like, I'm not trying to convince anyone you have to do this, or you need this, or you need that. I'm like, well, if you need it, you're going to sign on with me. But I have a service. I'm great at what I do, and yeah, there's tons of other designers that are phenomenal and that work really well. I mean, their designs are incredible. This is what I do. This is what I charge, and I know that I can help people, especially those that are in my niche. And so, I wasn't a strong seller, I would say, if that's a word or term, but I definitely was able to communicate effectively and let him know what I can help with within his business. And so I think that was helpful. Again, I've been in the school psychology realm for a significant amount of time at this point, and it's being able to work with people, communicate effectively, clearly, and develop a procedure, a plan that has definitely helped me out. So I could definitely see how he onboarded me because of the skill sets that I was bringing into the design field. So before we signed the contract, we just talked about what we could, how I could help him and what I could deliver and what he needed. And he understood that I was able to understand, listen, and respond with a plan. And obviously on Upwork, you can see if you're the client, if you're the one doing the work for your client, they can see like what you're working on and stuff, and which was a new experience as well. At least that's what it was a couple of years ago, and that was interesting because I've never seen that before, and I've never had someone hovering over my work. But it was a good check in for him, and obviously he's paying the hourly, so he wanted to see where the work was going, and when he needed adjustments or he needed me to focus on one thing versus the other, he would communicate effectively. And again, I was a freelancer, so it was okay for me to respond or with a rebuttal or with some type of insight that I had that I think would have benefited his research. So that was definitely helpful. The reason why we started 6719 Solutions is couple of reasons. One, my wife and I have always wanted to have a family business, and this was our first real interaction with building a business from more of like a legal standpoint. Obviously, you could do sole proprietor, and that was very helpful for me when doing freelance work. But when it came to actually building more of a legal protection, legal entity, we wanted to step forward with a more family dynamic. And so 6719 is actually our wedding date. So June 7th, 2019 is when we got married. And my wife actually has a fashion and merchandising background, and it has been great to be able to put our skills together. It has been great to be able to put our skills together to build something for our family, and that's been really fun. I mean, we bring completely different ideas, perspectives into the business, and she is more of the creative type that sees color palettes, brings color palettes together, and she worked with many, and she worked with many, companies. So she worked with many of the clothing companies, so she saw a lot of logos and logo design. So from my perspective, she helps me. So she helps me with giving her take on the logo designs, the color palettes that are created. And that's very helpful because sometimes I have multiple iterations and, picking one and which one would be more effective. So having her design eye is very helpful. And so we collaborate significantly on designs that we do. So it's great to be able to not just, work with my wife, but just see her use her skill set and her eye. Like, it's just such a great support. And it's so fun working together. So 3 things that I would change if I was starting 6719 Solutions again today. The first one would be to get help with building the legal entity. I did it on my own, not knowing anything. I mean, I don't think really ChatGPT or Gemini or any of these tools were really, I don't think they were out at that time. So I didn't have good research platform to help me with that. But I think I would have gone to LegalZoom and had them help me develop the business entity. Now, you can do it. You can totally do it, but I did mess up. And thankfully, our tax strategist is incredible, and he's able to help me out with these situations, and he was able to align things well and help us out. So yeah, he's been phenomenal, and so he helped me align things and straighten things out. But that's definitely one thing I would have done, is going to at least LegalZoom to pay the $400, $500 to really align things well and do things the right way, or at least do things well for what I'm doing and up to, because it was a headache first trying to learn everything and then making a decision, which I made a decision. It just wasn't the best one at the beginning. So that's definitely what I would change. What I was overthinking was thinking that I had to have all of these case studies done, or many clients, under my belt to be able to then go put myself out there and land multiple jobs. I think a good 4 case studies or 4 samples would have been sufficient. But in my head, I thought, well, I need to have this plethora of information and all these designs on here, just gonna stack my portfolio. But I definitely overthought that. And I, at this point, just lead with 4 really strong ones and then go from there. But I overthought that for sure. The third thing would be to put myself out there more. I struggled with this and still do struggle, putting my face out there, as I would say, on social media. But really the highest return was putting my face out there on social media, letting people know what I was up to and letting them know how I'm serving people and solving problems. So that, I think, has been the highest return. And I'm so thankful that I did that. And it's led to opportunities, and it's led to being able to sustain the business. And it's led to being able to level up in my skill set. So that's definitely one that has been very instrumental, and I'm glad that I did that. I think if I was starting over today, what I would do is find the niche I want to be in, create a portfolio of about 4 case studies, and really put myself out there and show people what I'm up to, why I'm doing what I'm doing, and how I can solve problems. That's what I would do if I was starting over. So, question of the day: if you're starting your service-based business, what problem do you solve? What's your niche? And how are you helping others succeed in their businesses? Thank you so much for watching. If you gain value out of this, hit subscribe, leave me a comment down below. Look forward to connecting with you. And if you need any type of brand work or web design and development, hit the link below. I'd love to work with you. Thank you again. Have a great day.